just have a pretty background, or are you outside?
I'm outside.
I was looking outside thinking maybe about going out, but it's too cold.
I'm in the sun right now. It's good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Little chilly. We have fishermen out already this morning though, so.
What side of town do you live on?
I'm actually out in Okauchee.
Okay. Yeah. I have some friends that live out there.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday was gorgeous. Hopefully this weather keeps rolling in and stays nice.
Absolutely.
No, Ziggy.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
What are you doing this week?
Good morning.
Anybody have anything going on?
I may have a new client actually.
Yay.
So I have a girlfriend that I've known since we were like 15, and
Okay.
a couple months ago she was really sick, not COVID, but really sick, whatever. And I was reaching out, is there anything I can do, help you with, whatever. So I had this huge thing of quarters. She needed laundry money, like just quarters, because she couldn't go to the bank because she was she couldn't get it through the drive-through. So I gave her that, and because I refinished furniture, I was like, I've got a couple little projects. She has a 4-year-old at home. So I gave her like little tiny super safe paint, like a couple cans of that, and then a couple like little woodworking projects and brushes, and I dropped everything off.
Oh, wow.
Feeling better and everything. I'm occupied, and he just texted me last night and said, do you have a copy of your business card you could take a picture of for me? Because I have a friend who wants to buy a house in Tosa. And I was like, yes. Also, if you can't see all my information, just send us, a screenshot of the conversation over to them. And she said they also have a house in Glendale that they need to sell too. So
Nice.
I'm like, gimme. So as soon as she gets yes from them, she's going to give me their contact info and I'm going to go after it.
Awesome. Awesome. We had a post on our Facebook page out in Lake Country. Somebody has a house in Wauwatosa coming up.
Okay, good.
The sellers do not want to advertise it. Okay, my memory is being jogged here. Can anybody help me out on that post? Who had that possible listing in Wauwatosa?
I don't remember.
I'm looking.
Are you a member of the Lake Country Keller Williams, Elizabeth?
No, I'm
Okay.
North Shore, so I'll
Okay, so what you guys need to do is become a member of all the Facebook pages, because we all have different things going on, and especially if you're looking for something more on the border of the area. I know if I have anything that I need in North Shore, I put it on the North Shore page, but anything out west here, we're going to put on the Lake Country page. So go on Facebook and join the Keller Williams North Shore, Keller Williams Southwest, and Keller Williams Lake Country, because we all have little things going on here.
Southwest.
And I know somebody posted on ours that they have a listing, but the sellers do not, because of COVID, they don't want random showings. They don't want a sign in the yard. Who was it? Robin, maybe, that had it?
I don't know.
Was it yesterday, Connie?
Boy, I have such a fabulous memory. I can't tell you.
Okay, so I went through
COVID brain.
I went through all the posts of yesterday and nothing. I'm gonna
Okay.
go back though.
Carol, it wasn't you, was it? Carol's muted.
No, I'm sorry. No, it was not me.
Was it? It might have been Robin.
Okay.
Robin McCormick.
Okay.
So Elizabeth, even touch base with her and see. I don't know what it was. I don't know how many bedrooms, but sometimes, especially in Wauwatosa, if we can get those little secret pockets, little pocket listings, and get them before they hit the market. I know Wauwatosa and Okauchee Lake, you really have to get them before they hit the market. Otherwise, you just can't have them.
Absolutely. Firefly is usually all over Tosa, so I was really surprised that they didn't try to reach out to somebody in particular, but I'm okay with I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to beat it to the ground. I'm going to take over all of it. It's going to be great.
Good for you. That a girl.
Thank you. I live like 5 minutes away from Tosa, so.
Skylar.
The listing that I had, or I'm not the listing, the buyers that I had that bought that house in Tosa, I posted it on my Facebook page, and one of my friends, old coworkers, was like, "That's the house I grew up in."
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So weird. Yeah.
So make sure when people make comments on your Facebook pages and posts, make sure to comment back to them.
Always.
Yep.
Okay, always make sure to comment back. So Beth, being as she grew up in that house, say, I love working in Wauwatosa. Do you have any friends who are still in Tosa that may consider selling because Tosa is such a hot market? And maybe just get conversations started that way.
Yeah.
So real estate is not brain surgery, you guys. All you have to be is social, follow up, and do your 20 phone calls a day or 20 contacts.
Yeah.
I got a sassy one here. So, doing your follow-up is the hardest part about real estate. And I always kind of joke and I say, well, this is hard for me because I don't like people, and I really like people, but I don't like all people.
Right.
So following up with people and, making some of the conversations that aren't real natural are the hardest things to do. So keep on that. Anybody else have anything new coming on? Anything we need to discuss? Problems, questions? Anybody, nobody? Okay. So you guys are stuck with me today. Ta-da! Janine had a couple of family things to deal with today. So she contacted me last night and said, can you handle this? I said, I think I can. I'll have to throw in the red flag if not. White flag, red flag, whatever. Mary Beth, you had a good birthday yesterday? She's outside?
I did. Thanks for being a part of my video.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. So Mary Beth's daughter called my daughter and said, I'm going to give you a 20-minute snippet of a song. Can you guys lip sync to it? And I'm going to put this whole thing together. So her daughter put together 2 songs of, oh my gosh, how many families were there, Mary Beth?
Oh God, I don't even know. She had more, but she said, Mom, I can't keep doing I can't chain all these songs together. So she just did 2, but she had so many more she wanted to do.
Oh my gosh, she did such a great job. It was amazing. So you had 20 seconds. And Cinco de Mayo, we actually got together with all of our family, all our kids. So we had all 6 of us to do, the whole lip sync thing. And
what did you guys have? Did you guys have Dancing Queen?
Yeah, we had Dancing Queen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. I thought the day was over, and then all of a sudden we just sat down to cake, and then we were just talking about how cool it was. Everybody, they were in quarantine, but people swung by and knocked on the door and left. And then they said, oh, it's not over yet. And I thought, oh, good God, I hope someone's not coming here. I was just like in my pajamas, know, and they said, they turned it on. I just cried. I thought, oh my gosh, it was so fun.
Oh, that just gives me goosebumps. It was
I know.
Yeah, when she called, of course, the kids have to put this together because I would never be able to figure out this whole thing. And I said to Maddie, I said, Taylor's going to splice all this together. And she says, yep, we have to have it to her before tonight because she's going to work on it all through the night and tomorrow morning. I'm like, okay, here we go.
I just posted it on my Facebook. So.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's really, really funny. So, glad you had a good day and people are making their way through this quarantine. Janine and I, we actually were on the phone for an hour this morning and just talking about the people who need your help. And our conversation last week ended with what we can do to make the biggest difference. And Elizabeth said, she had a friend who was sick. She needed quarters to do her laundry. She took over quarters and some projects for her. And she has 2 possible deals out of this one. So keep in mind, it isn't always begging for business or pushing things down and, all this. Just come in with contribution, come in with an open heart and help people out. So what are some of the other things that we can do to make a difference in this point in time? And Mary Beth, that was kind of leading into you too with your daughter. I mean, it made your whole entire day for somebody just to do something special. And we can all do a little something, even if people are a little afraid to get out and about. I'm kind of over it. I'm not going to lie, but everybody has their little bits and pieces that they want to stick to. So what can we do to make the biggest difference for people just in general at this point in time?
I think just talking. People are lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you're talking, you don't necessarily need to lead in with real estate. You want to come from your heart, just saying, hey, just checking in what's going on. Yeah, this, I mean, pardon my language, this sucks, no question.
Yeah.
You know, we're all in this, and I'm kind of tired of hearing that too. We're all in this together, but we are. And, you know, what, is there anything that you need or anything that, you know, I can help you through? Or, you know, sometimes I just need to talk to you, and I think just, and then obviously, you know, asking how they're doing. And then they'll probably say to you, how are you doing? Saying, good, you know, the market is still flourishing. It's still running. And, that would be your lead into that, but you're certainly not going to end saying, hey, can I sell your house?
Exactly. Yeah. I had a childhood friend of mine, her mom passed away 2 days ago. And, you know, we grew apart. I haven't really talked to her in years. I mean, we make little comments on Facebook. Her daughter got married. My daughter got married. And I messaged her yesterday because I don't even have her phone number anymore. It's been that long. So I messaged her and I said, you know, I'm really sorry to hear about your mom. I've known her. My gosh, we moved in next to each other when we were, I think 5 or 7, you know. And I said, you know, I'm so sorry about your mom. I know that you guys were close. Is there anything I can do for you? She says, you know, I could use a really good hug and a stiff drink. And I said, here's my phone number. You call when you're ready. And I'm sure we're going to get together. And like I said, I haven't seen her in years, but just to open that door and just be there for somebody, you know. And with the whole COVID, she was only allowed to see her mom for 20 minutes before she passed. So just to be there for people, they really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure, I have a feeling that we're going to reconnect again. And sometimes that's what you need. And she lives in Stevens Point now, but she has a lot of family down here. And could it lead to some deals? Probably, but you can't, you know, stick your stamp on that one. Anybody else? What else can we do to make a difference?
I'm putting some Mother's Day stuff together for friends, family, and my clients that I have under contract right now because they're my only 2.
Yeah.
So my kids and I we painted these terracotta pots and then we filled them with dirt and seeds and stuff. So what I'm going to do, I already asked, and I feel like there's a huge difference between men and women. If you ask a man, what's your favorite color? They'll tell you, and that's the end of the conversation. But the women I've asked, they're like, I like this and this, but why? And I'm like, well, I want to drop something off for you that you can do on Mother's Day with your child. And they're like, oh, really? That's so sweet. I'm like, it's not supposed to be a big deal, but I'm doing it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm going to start on Saturday. And that's what I want for my Mother's Day. Like, I want to do this project with my kids. So the father of my kids, he works at a bar. So he's giving me like those little plastic containers that you get for like sauces and stuff. So I'm putting paint in those. I have my tags, I have my brushes. I just have to go get my pots. And then I'm going to put all the dirt in like plastic bags so they can paint everything, their favorite colors and however they want to do it, and drop them all off bottles of wine for the clients. And then, yeah, go from there.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's going to be really fun. And I'm going to drag the children all over Wisconsin.
Well, at least you're getting out of the house, right?
Oh, right. And they like doing this stuff.
For a year. You remember when that fucking thing came for me in the mail where it was like,
Alicia?
if you don't pay this ticket, like
Sorry, it's unplugged. It's my son. Sorry.
Wow. So there, the big fat naked guy comes walking through. We just get off really quick. That's where we're at here. So what I've been doing the last number of years, and I stole it from Janine, and we don't like to say steal, but at Keller Williams, we all share our ideas. I go and I get a geranium and I put it in a red bag. I get them from the dollar store and I put the tag on it with my logo. Thank you for helping me grow my business over the last year. And I take one to every one of my past clients. If you don't have past clients, you can do this to really good friends, just people who you talk to about real estate, to really start spicing that up a little bit and giving back. And it's getting you out of the house. So how many people watched Tommy Choi yesterday? Anybody? Okay. So the biggest thing with Tommy Choi, what he was getting into is, you know, your 4 different stages of depression, if you will. And the first one is anger. The second was denial, hitting into depression, and then acceptance. So with all of these different stages, many people are going through them as we're being locked in the house. You need to get outside. I know that we have so many different classes and Zoom meetings and everything. You do not have to do all of them, as we say, drinking out of the fire hose. Pick and choose something for you once a week, twice a week, once a day that you're really going to focus on. Because if you do everything, you're not building your business either. Okay. So watch with different people with these stages, and we're finding that the more people who sit at home on their butts in front of their computers, this is just really building on top of people's emotions. So get out of the house. I love to see that a couple of you guys are outside. The windows are open. Get a little fresh air. Go for a walk and schedule yourself to do these things so you don't become stagnant with it. Okay. Does everybody have some sort of a sheet or a tracker to do their contacts with? Okay, so what you want to do, there are some on the KW, my KW page. If you go in and you Google contact sheet, it should come up and it will give you, it's just a piece of paper with 20 lines. You can make up your own if you want in a Word doc, what have you. Take and write that down and write down how many contacts you've made a day with their names so you can keep track of it. We all know that seeing things makes you more accountable for it. We can think all day long, I think I made 20 contacts. And when you think back and if you write them down, you've really texted, called, and instant message maybe 40. And it'll take your emotions and pop them up a little bit more than just thinking that you did your 20. So make sure that you guys are making your 20 contacts a day. The next thing that I was going to cover today for you guys, before I move on, anything else that we can do to make a big difference with people? With real estate, spring is right around the corner, and I know we're not supposed to be close to anybody yet, but hopefully this will be lifted soon. Keep in mind that people need help with yard work. If you have kids, high school kids, take care of the neighbors. I'm going to be a little morbid here, but when people die, they need their house sold. Take care of your neighbors who are elderly, because their kids are going to notice who helped them out, and it may lead to a sale someday by just taking care of your elderly neighbors, helping them with their yard work. And anybody who has kids, they usually need volunteer hours. Track those volunteer hours for them, and also when they're helping you with your business. Track their volunteer hours, whether it's for confirmation, graduation. A lot of times when they apply for colleges, they need volunteer hours. Make sure to help them log those also to move forward. And
That's
it's
a
free
great
labor.
to teach them how to organize best, because
Yes.
my kids and I, we all volunteer with dog rescues and stuff, and my daughter loves it, but my oldest is not, or my medium one's not so social. So other things behind the scenes he's on top of, but they like checking boxes and making lists. So
That's a great idea. Keep in mind also, like with our first one, when she filled out her first college application, there was all kinds of things on there that I didn't know about. And one was volunteer hours. Most colleges want to know, how many volunteer hours you have. And we weren't real good at tracking them because I didn't know. So when it came to the number 2 and 3, we had those volunteer hours tracked and on a spreadsheet and in their little file. So that was good. So leading right into keeping track of things, how many people have a budget set for their business?
Jennifer.
Kind of, maybe. So how much do you budget? Where do you start? What can you write off? What you can't? So keep in mind that with real estate, you are running your own business. You have to file your own taxes. And because you're running your own business as either a sole proprietor, a S Corp, or an LLC, and I am not an accountant, and this is not my gig, but I do have information for you, but you have to go to your accountant to confirm and to work through all of this. But you should be tracking a lot of different things with having your own business, and a lot of them are your write-offs. So people say that when you have your own business, you do have write-offs. We need to take advantage of this. So what I have is I actually have some slides that I'm going to go through. I'm going to skip through a couple of them, but we will go through this and give you guys some ideas on how to budget with your financials and take on your deductions. So let me pop this up here for you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
I don't know if I did her phone number.
Okay. Pull this one up here. Okay. So keep in mind that everything that Keller Williams does goes back to your MREA book, the Millionaire Real Estate book, MREA. And one of the biggest things with your MREA is your financials and your budgets and where to spend your money and where not to spend your money. So your total expenses should not exceed 30% of your GCI, and your GCI is your gross commission income. So your gross commission income is what you get on your check. You should have 2 accounts set up for your business only. Don't run them out of your personal account. You won't be able to keep everything straight. It's much easier for taxes also to just print off your monthly statement, to put it in QuickBooks or whatever you're working with by having 2 separate accounts. So what I do when I get a check, I take 30% right off the top before I even start figuring anything. I put it into a separate account for taxes. At the end of the year, that money is there. You can write your check, you can write your quarterlies out of that account, and then you have it instead of spending it all. So when you get your $5,000, your $10,000 check, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Just to get that big check, but it's not all yours. Keep in mind you're running a business, so 30% has to go to your taxes, and 30% should go back into your business. So what do we mean by back into your business? Anyone?
Reinvest.
Okay, reinvest, but what are you going to spend money on in real estate?
Marketing.
Marketing, and what sort of marketing can we spend money on?
Boosting ads.
Yep.
Okay, you can boost your ads on Facebook. That's a great one. Anybody else?
Flyers
Farming
and
neighborhoods.
Sorry, try that again.
Farming neighborhoods.
Yep, farming your neighborhoods. And what do we do when we farm neighborhoods? What's a good idea?
I'm sending letters to my neighborhood right now, wishing them happy spring, and then letting them know that I have, it's an older neighborhood, so I'm letting them know that I have a list of contractors and handyman that if they need help with any, finding somebody to give me a call.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So when you're farming a neighborhood, where do you get your addresses from?
From the tax records from MLS.
Okay, perfect. Does everyone know how to find your tax records on MLS? I have a couple of yeses, a couple of no's. I'm going to pop it up real quick. And people know that I kind of jump around a little bit, so sorry. Here we go. So when you're looking up for taxes and for different addresses, what we'll do is come into, where's my taxes? Come into tax information. Go into address range. If you know the name of your streets.
Your creating budget page is still up.
Is the budget page still up?
Your screen's not on.
Huh, how do you think I did that? Okay, let's stop share. And let's try this one. Thank you for letting me know. I have to go back to there we go. Are we on MLS now?
Wire data.
Yes. The wire data. Okay. So does everybody know how to get to this page?
No, not.
Okay.
I don't think.
That's
no.
okay. I'll go backwards. So when you're in MLS, when you come into menu, we can drop down in here to taxes, tax information. When you click on tax information, this is the best way to spy on people, you guys. It's amazing. You can pull up anybody and their tax records and see how long they've owned the property, the taxes that they've paid. So a really good way to get your addresses is come in here to address range, and you need to know the name of the street where you're at. I am going to search the entire county of Waukesha, or you can put the municipality. I'm just going to pull up my street. So, town of Oconomowoc. Street name is Road B. When you do your search, it will give you all 37 addresses and names of everybody on Road B. Everybody with me so far? So then what we'll do is come to the top and do a data export. We'll check all of the names. So you can do them individually by checking these little boxes, or if you hit select on the top left, it will check all of your properties. You can do mailing labels at this point in time by clicking the center, and it will put them on a spreadsheet for your mailing labels, or you can hit data export. When you hit data export, this will put it in an Excel file that you can upload into, I like to use Quantum Digital when I send out my postcards. So I export the data file, and hopefully this pops up. Does everybody have this?
Still see the data export.
Data export, okay. So when you click on it, what it does is on your lower left, it will put together a spreadsheet with everybody's name, address, city, state, and zip code. At this point in time, you can upload it into whatever you're using. You can print them off as stickers for your letters. You can print off your any advertisement that you are doing by that data file. Does that help everybody out?
That's amazing.
Okay, yep. It's really an easy way to do it. You need to know the street name. If you do the whole county, keep in mind if you put in Lake Drive, you will get thousands and thousands and thousands of Lake Drives because every city has a Lake Drive, it seems like. So what you'll want to do is definitely when you go into your address range, put in the name of the city instead of the entire county. So that should help you guys out a little bit with that. Any questions?
One of the things that I do, my neighborhood is an older neighborhood, and I make sure that I adjust the name so it's not, if there's two names on the account, I just do the last name and family and add in family, because there's a lot of people their husband or wife has passed and they have not taken their names off the tax records. And so, you know, there's nothing worse than getting a letter saying, you know, dear Vic and Astrid, when Astrid's been gone for 10 years.
Yes.
So be careful with that.
I usually edit the names to say neighbor.
Well, I don't do that because it's not personal enough. And so if I, you know, it's like, it was Vic and Astrid Flowers. So if I do the, you know, Flowers family, then it's like I did make it personalized to them enough.
I agree. When I get something that says neighbor, I throw it right in the garbage. Unless if it's another realtor, then I open it up because I want to see what kind of advertising they're doing.
I do postcards, so I handwrite a note on the postcard and they can see it right there.
Okay.
I feel like that's the only way it works for me, but
okay, yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
Yep, keep it.
Where are you putting that name different?
So what I do is in Excel, I add a column right after their names. And then I copy paste the predominant name, last name. And so if the last name is, you know, that column, and put it in there. And when it's, when there's two last names, you know, it's a little bit of futzy work. So if it's, you know, in my household, it's Annie Jerzyk and Steve Miller. And so it'll be the Jerzyk Miller family.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's great. Awesome. Any questions, other questions on how to get these addresses? That's the easiest way to get an address list for your farming. I know we bounced out a little bit on what we were doing, but I would rather cover things as you guys ask. So farming you're going to spend money on. Like I said, I like Quantum Digital. I found them to be the most reasonable. I upload the addresses right to their site. I make a postcard. They send it out, and it ends up to be, oh heck, I think it's like 40 cents a postcard, and that includes postage. So it's very reasonable. Actually, let me figure it out. I did, it was $65 and I sent out 90, oh, sorry, it was 70 cents a piece. And that included postage. And I didn't have to write them out, which was even better.
I just did one on Vistaprint because they have a special right now, 40% off of postcards. I sent out 66 postcards and uploaded the mailing list. Front and back they were verbiage, and they were $62 for the 66. So real similar to what yours was.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So we'll get back into this here. So farming, what else could we spend money on? Our deliveries. So when we're hand delivering things, make sure that you have your name or your logo on it. If it has your name or your logo on it, it is advertising, because as gifts, there's a limit on what we can spend for a gift. So make sure you have your name or your logo on it, because then it is considered advertising, and then it'll go into your advertising column. What else do we spend money on? Does everybody drive? Okay. Keep in mind you want to track your mileage and or your car expenses. Take those numbers to your accountant and see what works out best for you. I do my mileage. I use Mile IQ. Let me pull it up here. Mile IQ. Pardon?
How much does that cost?
Mile IQ is $5 a month.
Oh, nice.
Woo! So for $60, it automatically sets, and here we go. Where are we? Can you guys see the Mile IQ? I think it's right over there. It's orange. Oops, that's not Mile. Yep. And what it does is it classifies all of your rides and your routes, and you swipe it left if it's personal, you swipe it right if it's business. At the end of the month, it gives you the total on your monthly summaries.
Wow. My husband's an accountant. He's going to love this.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So what I do is at the end of the month, I go through and I make sure my numbers are totaled. And then out of my business account, I write myself a check for mileage, because I try and keep my business account straight. You can write it all off at the end of the year. I cash my things out, talk to your accountant, and figure out what you should be doing. But you really need to have some sort of an app to figure out your mileage. What else could we write off for business expenses?
Honey, what was the app again?
Mile IQ.
Okay.
And it's orange. It's a little orange. I'm not sure if you can see it. How much glare you guys have? It's orange. And it has like that MI kind of swoopy thing. There it is. Ooh, that comes in really nice. So when it has that little red number, that means that there are 25 trips that I still need to classify. Swipe left for personal, swipe right for business. It's really super easy. You can do it once a week, you can do it once a month, you can do it every day. I have mine set to go on automatically because otherwise I forget. And then I just swipe left for anything personal. So I'm going to pull this up because I have a lot of different things that we can be writing off. So when you're creating your budget, and I'm going to keep this whole screen on so I can see everything. So keep in mind when you're creating your budget, and this is all in that MREA book, you have your salaries. You should be putting money into your lead gen. Occupancy is any office fees that you may have. Technology, so your app for Mile IQ, your Microsoft, every year you have to subscribe to your Microsoft programs. Make sure you write that off into your business. Could you be using, I think Microsoft comes with, what is it, 4 or 6 logins? Your family can use the rest of those logins, but your initial price that you're paying out should come out of your business. Phone, supplies, education, equipment, and auto expense. So these are your main categories for your budget that you should be setting up. The next thing that we have is, this is also in the MREA book. This is your GCI to operating expense. It's just a quick chart. And what it does is it breaks down, if your income is $30,000, that means that you need to do $72,000 in GCI. You'll put money into lead gen, your office expenses, your technology, your phone. So this just breaks it down for different numbers. And this whole presentation that I have here, I did take out of KW Connect. And if you put in budgeting and agent financials, this whole presentation will come up for you guys. So coming into your tax account, tax deductions, I'm going to go through and give you guys a whole list of things to keep in mind. You don't want to do this December 28th. I know we're into May here, so this is a really good time to start looking into your expenses and track them. I run everything through my business checking account, everything. I have a debit card. I have it through Landmark Credit Union because they don't charge. It's free, it's convenient for me. So I have a business checking account and a business savings account through Landmark. I can do everything online. It works out really nice. I also keep a box in the closet in my office that I throw all my receipts in. Have a place that you can throw all your receipts in. So once again, I am not a CPA or a tax attorney or a real estate, and contact all these people just in case. So with your tax deductions, if you're single and your taxable income is $100,000, every dollar you deduct from your taxable income will save you 50 cents in taxes, 50 cents on the dollar. So make sure you do your write-offs. So a deduction is, okay, this breaks it down on how you're going to save money on your taxes. So 28% for federal income taxes, 15% in self-employment taxes, and this is obviously California for their state income taxes. Wisconsin is a little different. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I take everything to the accountant because this is not my gig. All I know is the receipts and everything that I take to them.
Remind me where you got this from again.
This is when you go on KW Connect, when you go into education, there's a bar, for a search bar. And if you type in budgeting and agent financials, there's all kinds of different presentations and charts and things to look at.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are welcome. So an expense, I'm going to put this up here. So any expense for your real estate business is tax deductible if it is ordinary and necessary, it's directly related to your business, and it's reasonable in amount. If you're writing off a $10,000 dinner, it may be a red flag to the IRS. Just saying, okay? So a reasonable allowance for salaries or compensation, your traveling expenses, which is also meals and lodging. So when we go to family reunion, everything from the minute that I step on the at the airport to the minute that I come home is a write-off because it is for a business travel expense. So my cocktail at the airport, my hotel, my coffee in the morning, my lunch, anything that I do for that whole entire time that I'm gone, I put in a write-off for a business travel expense and my parking when I get home. So health insurance, because you are self-employed, you can write off 100% of your health insurance costs. Some of us have insurance through our spouse, but keep track of all of your health insurance costs and your medical costs. Your computer is tax deductible because you are using it for business. It says it's not deductible if you use it only to pay personal bills or computer games. So I have a computer. My husband is also licensed. So I bought him a computer because even though he's not selling with me, he does do some work for me. So we can write off both computers. A tablet, a cell phone. So what we're doing is with Command, we will start to do check-ins at open houses. If anybody's been listening to Brad Yates, we can go in Command, we can do a landing page and have our buyers check into our open house on your tablet. That is a write-off. You need your cell phone for business, so that's a write-off. How we doing here? Couple of good ideas?
Oh.
So your advertising expenses, your website, anything that you pay to do business, your website, your internet expense, your mailing lists. We don't really do newspaper advertising, but if you do, that's great. Flyers, online advertising, postcards, promotional materials, any clothing that has a logo on it. If you have a Keller Williams polo shirt, that's a write-off. If you have a Keller Williams sweater, if you have a Keller Williams jacket, make sure you write that off in your business expense. It is marketing. Your bookkeeping, your accounting, and your legal fees. Here we go, business gifts up to $25. So if it's a gift, you can spend up to $25. If it has your logo on it, you can write off 100% because then it is marketing. Business meals and entertainment is 50% deductible. So save all of your receipts for business meals and entertainment because you can only write off half of them. Ubers or cab if you take it. Vehicle expenses, so your mileage, depreciation, insurance, interest on car loans, lease payments, license plate fees, parking expenses, and tolls. Your cell phone and any computer software and your computers. Desk and office fees. So your monthly fee that we receive, your $108 for your office, make sure that you put that in your business expense. Any education. So your bold, everybody who's taking bold, that is a expense because it is education. Anything that you pay out for your continuing ed. So with the WRA, they have online courses. With your online courses, you can write that off. It's $21 a course or a total of $126. So keep in mind this $126 for your continuing ed. If you were to pay taxes on that, I always have to grab my calculator. Sorry, guys. 126, you would be paying $37 in taxes on that $126. So by writing that off, you're saving yourself $37. And everything really adds up.
Hey, Connie.
Yep.
I know you said that this is in the education portion. Any chance that you can just forward this to everybody?
Sure I can. Yes, I'm not.
I'm having a hard time finding it.
Yeah, because we have the two offices. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I don't have everybody's email. Usually what I do is email it to everybody who was in the class.
Could you post it in files on one of like Lake Country and North Shores?
I can. Yep.
That would work.
Yeah,
Okay.
I will do that. That's great.
Because people are trying to search right now and they're struggling, so.
Yeah. Well, and things move around depending on what was added. I know this
Right.
was from like 2 years ago and I saved it because I thought it was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, great point. Great point. Any home office expenses? So if you do not have an office at our office space, you can write off home office expenses. Talk to your accountant about that. Your insurance, your E&O, we pay through the office, business liability, blah, 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 blah. Interest on business loans or interest paid on business credit cards, you can write off. Internet access fees. Does everybody have internet at home?
Yeah.
Okay. So any internet access fee, because we do work at home, especially now, that should be a business write-off. Map books. I'm going to skip over that one. Okay. Any office equipment. So if you have a desk at home or a chair at home, if you are using that for business expense, we can put that in as a write-off. Office supplies. When you purchase postage, paper, printer, ink, toner, folders, pens, anything like that, make sure you put that in a separate receipt in your business file. I know sometimes we forget. Hubby, can you pick up some paper for the printer? Make sure you put that in your business expense. All this stuff really, really adds up. Like I said, for the $126, you're saving $37 in taxes. Professional dues. So your MLS dues, fees, registration fees. If you belong to the Chamber of Commerce, if you belong to a marketing club, a BNI group, anything like that, all of those fees are write-offs for you. Referral fees, commission rebates, all of that is also a tax deduction. Any retirement plan contributions. Hopefully everybody's putting in there, I think it's $7,000 or $7,500 a year into your retirement plan. That comes right off the top for your tax deduction. Talk to your accountant on what works best for you. Subscriptions to professional journals. So if you have the Inman Select subscription, you can write that off.
Don't we get Women Select free from our KW affiliation through?
Yes, we do. But you can pay a higher something. I don't. It's way too much reading for me. Here we go into traveling to your business journal, to your conventions also. So when you're tracking your business mileage, like I said, use an app. It's just easier. I talked to somebody not too long ago who had a notebook in their car and they were writing down every time they went somewhere, $27 or 27 miles to this house. And then they stopped here and it was 3 miles here, and pay the $60 and get the app on your phone. Now, Mile IQ does have a lower end subscription that is free. I think you only get 20 trips a month out of that one. And 20 obviously is not enough. Okay, so you have to have records of all your travel expenses. Mile IQ does everything for you. You can print it out if you want. You can download it, anything. I actually have it set up that I get an email every month, and it emails me at the end of the month my travel expenses for my mileage, and I just download it into a file. Just in case if I get audited, I do have it. So here's your mileage. And like I said, Mile IQ does everything for you. If you guys have, does anybody have another app that they like? I know there's a number of them out there. And I don't have stock in Mile IQ, so use whatever you want.
I use QuickBooks.
Okay, yep, QuickBooks. And then that links right back into your QuickBooks, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I scan my receipts to the QuickBooks and everything, so I still keep the paper copy in case something happens, but.
Okay. Do you have your business account linked to QuickBooks too then?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's amazing. Maybe we can sit down and figure that out one day because I have no idea.
I would not, we would be the blind leading the blind.
Okay. Maybe we can...
Transparent here. Yeah.
That's okay.
It's not tough. It just, who came to our office? That guy.
Oh yeah.
Somebody.
Yeah. And he's the one who said he loved that one. And then they had a special for the year. So I did that.
Okay. Huh. I'm kind of a control freak though. I like to see what's going on also. Like I have extra time to, upload everything. So keep in mind that when you're doing your business tracking, your mileage tracking, you need to know the amount, the date, and the place, and that it was for a business purpose. So your meals and entertainment can be 50 or 100% deductible depending on the event. If you're taking someone out to lunch, it's 50%. If you are doing an event, you can write off 100%. So if you are doing a client appreciation barbecue, you can write off 100% of that event. They have changed some things. So nightclubs, theaters, sporting events, hunting and fishing trips, or yachts are not considered write-offs. Keep your receipts and consult with your tax accountant on what is allowed. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So, like I said, talk to them on what you can write off. They say no social gatherings as cocktail parties. I've gotten more transaction out of cocktail parties than I have anything else in my business. Country clubs, golf clubs, athletic clubs, vacation resorts. This is where you're going to pull all your business. So once again, talk to your accountant, save all of your receipts. Okay, I'm going to skip through a couple of these. So once again, you're not subject to the 50% limit if you provide meals, entertainment, or rec facilities to the general public. So if we're opening this up to the general public and having client appreciation, then you can write off 100%.
Does that mean I should have a block party and invite clients?
Most definitely.
Yay! I'm glad.
Definitely.
Awesome.
So this was a lot of information, and like I said, I will post it as a file. This slideshow, I didn't go through all of them. There's 73. I just kind of pick and choose. It also covers going over budgets, which is a totally different class to figure out your GCI with your contacts. That's the first half of the slide. I'm not going to break it up. I'll just put it all in with in a file. Okay. Any questions on any of this? Oh, it looks like Kathleen found it and put it in the comments. Let me just. There we go. Oh, here we go. QuickBooks has a checklist, not the presentation. Kathleen put the PDF file down in the group chat. Any questions on budgeting, agent financials? I know I kind of zipped through it, but make sure to track everything really, really well. My suggestion is go through it once a month and straighten it all out too, because if you take your big box of receipts at the end of the year, it's quite overwhelming. And you want to make sure that you have everything straight for your accountant and for your write-offs. Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Carol had a question about vacant land.
Okay, vacant land, listing it or being on the buy side, things to know. So what's interesting is people in North Shore, you probably don't deal much with vacant land, is my guess, because everything's built up. So when we're writing offers to purchase, there are 3 separate offer to purchase documents, contracts. So the one is the residential offer to purchase. The other one is the condo offer to purchase, which is a separate offer to purchase. And the last one is a vacant land. When you're dealing with your vacant land offer to purchase, it's always on a case-by-case basis, depending on what kind of land it is, where it is, what's developed, what is not developed, because there's a lot of different questions on that offer to purchase in relation to soil tests, different septic, different perks, and it's really a case-by-case basis. When you guys are doing a vacant land offer to purchase, I would call your mentor and really go through it all with them. Because like I said, if you're doing a lot in a subdivision, the septic and water are probably taken care of, or it will be already perked and ready to go. If it's an old farm field, we don't know if you're going to have to do a soil test and figure out where you'll be able to build that house. I mean, it's really case by case on all of that. So I know she asked for a PC class. We could do a whole class on that one. But it's really, really a case by case instance. I've had 3 vacant properties that I've written on, and yeah, they're all really, really different. Good deal. Questions? Anybody?
I have a question. So I'm taking a client to go see a property on Big Cedar Lake this weekend. Yep. When trying to look at the comps and just try to figure out the value. When I did a full search, populated everything exactly, when I checked body of water, it doesn't even let me populate Big Cedar Lake. It gives me like Rock Lake and Okauchee Lake, even though I'm in Washington County. Am I doing something wrong?
I would have to look at it.
Okay.
What I would do is drop a pin on the map.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, drop a pin on the map and do the area.
That radius, okay.
Yeah, do the radius and then make sure that your box is checked for lake, lake property.
Okay. All right.
Because sometimes with the little lakes, but Big Cedar should be on there.
I know, it wasn't a choice, and I kept refreshing, and so I thought, I don't know. I'll pin. I just thought that would be a quicker way just to kind of look, but.
Yeah, try and drop a pin. I know a lot of times if you drop a pin and you expand your search area, I like the map function. Some people don't, but
I usually use the map, but I thought, oh, I'm going to try this other way while I'm going back to the map.
Well, when I do a full search, like every morning, I have some people looking for lake properties, which it's going to be the death of me because they're just not available.
Yeah.
So every morning what I do is I just look in Waukesha County on Pewaukee, Nag, and Okauchee. And I do PEW, NAG, OK. And it pulls up everything from the 3 lakes. So you don't have to have the full name in there.
Yeah.
It will take the letters of the word and do that. So for Big Cedar, maybe just CED.
Yeah.
And it'll bring up Big Cedar and Little Cedar.
They might do BCL. And Carol, that's a great idea. I never even thought about populating RPR. So I'll see what they pull up.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, RPR is another great one to look at. Does everybody use RPR?
I do. I like it.
Yeah. So anybody, and because we're crossing with 2 different market centers, I know we do some different things that you guys don't do, but we're into sharing here. So RPR is Realtor Property Resource. What you can do is go on the internet. You can type in Realtor Property Resource. You have to sign up for it because you have to be a realtor to get in there, but it gives you a lot of great information on properties. It has some of the assessor data in there. It will give you the school districts. Also, all the way on the bottom, when you put in a property, when you pull up that property, it also gives you any loans that they may have on the property and mortgages. So when you go in to do a market on that house, or when you meet with the seller, when they are stuck on their price, you have in the back of your mind to have a little bit of compassion because they may be over mortgaged. So if they insist that they have to have $300,000 on their house, and you look and they have a $250 mortgage and a $50,000 second, I know it might only be worth $280,000, but that's where they're getting their number from because they are mortgaged. It doesn't update the mortgages, so you have to be a little creative when you're looking at things. I would hope if they got their mortgage 30 years ago, it's paid off. But you never know, and you can just look things up just so you have enough ammunition when you go into that listing.
That is a really great piece of advice. I downloaded that actually. I went to a seminar, I can't remember when, but the owner of Stefaniak Real Estate was there. And he's like, stop what you're doing right now, do this while we're sitting in the Hilton.
Yep.
And I have it. So that is, thank you, because I totally forgot about it.
Yep. So when I go to a house, I check, I do my own research on MLS for a market. I check RPR. And I check Zillow. I know we don't like Zillow, and I don't know where they get their numbers from, but I'll be darned, you will be sitting there with that seller, and you will have a number, and they'll say, well, Zillow said. And if you come in blindsided, you're really the fool. Sorry. You really need to check and see where their numbers are coming from. Sometimes Zillow is way out there. Sometimes Zillow doesn't consider that it's a lake property, and it'll be worth $300,000 when it was really supposed to be worth $700,000. That's a big difference, and I've caught it many, many times. So do your research. There we go. If you use RPR, it does help to clarify that the owner of Zillow sold his house
40%
far below the Zillow estimate. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a big difference. So check all of your resources. Another resource that is nice is, oh, let me pull it up here. I want to get the exact, assessors data. Assessordata.org. www.assessordata.org. And with assessors data, it costs you $1.20 every time you pull up a file. And I find that it does not work well when you're using Google Chrome. It works better with Internet Explorer. And I know we should be using Chrome for everything, but I think their software is older and it works better with Internet Explorer. When you go on, you will get the full assessor's report, including the layout of the property. Yeah, so, you know, when you see the drawings of the properties that the garage is this big and the house is this big and how it's all laid out with the sunroom, that's all on assessor's data. And like I said, you do have to pay $1.20 every time you go on, so don't go on 3 times a day with the same property. It comes up as a PDF file and download it. So download that into your file. Pardon?
How is that updated?
Well, it depends on the municipality. You can go in and you can check. Some municipalities put everything in and others, they do not.
Okay.
Okay. So it's kind of a hit or miss. You don't have to pay for it if there's no information.
Okay.
But I like that. And if I bring a layout to my listing of their property, they're like, hey, where'd you get that? Which means you did your homework and that you're prepared to take that listing.
I just got a bill from them yesterday and I'm like, what am I getting charged? Who's charging me $1.20?
Exactly.
And then I emailed. I'm like, what is this $1.20? And then they told me the tax key. I had done it a month ago. I totally forgot. So they billed after the end of the month. So
well, and you cannot pay online with them. You have to write a check.
Actually, they let me. I paid online now. They sent me.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, thank goodness, because I would forget and then they'd shut me off.
Yeah. Yep.
Because they just don't write checks for $1.20.
I told them I'm not writing you a check, and they said no, just put a credit card. So she sent me the link. So.
Okay, well that's good because what I was doing is just sending him $20, and when it was used, it was used.
Yeah.
Because for me to figure out $1.20 in my checking account is just that's like the change in your cup holder in your car. Unreal. Okay, any other questions for you guys? We're opening up the forum here.
I feel like you've given me a ton of ammunition for homework for these new clients, and I'm so excited. Is there anything else?
Well, there's always something. And I always like to open up to different questions. And I know Janine and I play off of each other and work things. So we're a little bit shorter in our presentation today. But I would rather take what you guys need and work things through like that. And I know sometimes at Lake Country, people say, well, she gets off on these different tangents. And we try and stick to what we were covering. But also giving you guys the information that you need, because there's I'm not going to say there's secrets, but little tips and tricks on doing things a little bit easier and finding your information, which you're only going to learn that from an agent who's been doing it maybe a little longer than you, or somebody who takes a different path. And there's nothing wrong with that either.
I did learn something by talking to the focus title people that if you're going to go to a listing or whatever, and that person has their own business and it's an LLC, you do need to get that LLC information to provide to the focus title people.
Yes. The LLC also, if it's in a trust or if the property is named something other than the individual. So when they do their, focus title has the sheet of paper that you need the seller to fill out. They have to write in there if it's under an LLC or if it's under a trust. It has to be named under that so they can pull up all the information. I actually had a very interesting closing sell, and because the seller had their property cross-collateralized with their business, they didn't think all this had to be paid off because it was for the business. Now, if the property is cross-collateralized for that business, when you sell that house, those monies have to be paid in full. So they will not be getting their full check because their business loan had to be paid off because it was attached to the house. Ew. So yeah, that's another one. And then we had a couple of things that were a little furry because some things were named as individuals, as an individual person. Some things were named under the business entity, and some things were named under the trust. So some things can be cross-collateralized and others can't.
Okay, so if the house is actually, it's in his name, but he owns his own business as an LLC, I still have to get the LLC stuff.
That's a title question.
Okay, I believe I do.
Well, it depends on if it's cross-collateralized with the house. If it's a separate entity, it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, better safe to get the information and let the title company figure it out.
I always ask Andrea. I go right to Andrea or Angela, and there are two people out at Lake Country, and their door is always open, and they're a wealth of information. It's really nice to have them.
Yeah, I guess Renee is taking over Lake Country's people.
Okay, she will be the transaction coordinator.
Right, then that's what, if I do that, that's what she contacted me yesterday about that.
Okay, so actually this is great. So when we're dealing with title runs title for the listing. Your transaction coordinator helps you to keep all of your papers straight in MLS correctly and in command correctly. So she works on the transaction, title works title. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like they work the little part of the process.
Yep, they work a little part of the process. And then we also have people who work in the back, like the back room. And what they do is they run title and they look up all of the different links for that property to make sure that, oh gosh, that the description is correct on the property. I had a property that I sold that they forgot a 0 in the description. So instead of the property being 190 feet, it was recorded as 19 feet.
Oh.
So looking at those recordings and checking to make sure that the numbers in the description match the survey is what, like Ross in the back office, that's what he does. He looks at all of those numbers. And if you guys want something really interesting, have him explain to you how the land description works. It's really cool.
Huh.
So that's where your title comes into play on who owns the property and what monies are owed to who. Great question. Anybody else? Questions?
Did we talk about any buyer needs or anything?
Oh, no, we didn't. What do you guys have for buyer needs? Oh, Elizabeth, you're on mute.
Any listings coming up?
Any listings, any buyer needs?
I have a duplex under 200, New Berlin, West Dallas. She works in Brookfield, but I know I'm not going to find anything like that in Brookfield.
Yeah, New Berlin, duplex under 200.
You have a listing or you have a buyer need?
Buyer need.
Okay, so are you on the Southwest Facebook page?
I am now.
Okay, perfect. So make sure you post that. Perfect. Make sure you post that on the Southwest Facebook page because their office is in New Berlin.
Perfect.
And maybe they have some connections out there for you.
Yay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody else? Buyer needs. So
Not
I
right
have
now.
homework for, pardon?
Not right now.
Okay, so I have homework for everybody. I need you to find a buyer this week.
A new one?
Everybody to find a new buyer this week. So today's the 7th, so that would be by next Friday the 14th, or next Thursday the 14th. Find a buyer.
Okay.
I don't care if you have to lift up a rock and look underneath it. Find yourself a buyer. So calling everybody, saying, hey, this is Connie with, haven't talked to you for a while. Don't even say you're from Keller Williams. Haven't talked to you for a while. How are you doing? Have that great conversation with them. And at the end, just say, you know, and because they're going to come back at you and say, oh my gosh, how's real estate going? It must be absolutely terrible. No, actually, we are selling houses. We're still doing our open houses. We're doing our first showing virtually, usually. And we're really doing research and not just running people around for fun. So that's how it's going. And oh, by the way, I really need a buyer this week for my homework. Blame it on me. Blame it on me. Okay. My productivity coach said I need to find a buyer this week. This way, everybody has something in their pipeline that they're working toward, and we're working on appointments, and that's what we need to be doing. So everybody, please find a buyer this week. And then next week, when we have this conversation, we're going to have all kinds of things that people need. Okay. Does anybody have any listings or anything on the pipeline that they're looking at that we can help you with?
I'm still working on one.
Still working on one? Okay.
I have a condo coming soon, Connie.
Pardon?
I have a condo coming soon. It's kind of by Northridge, Milwaukee.
Okay.
I just got to figure all that out.
Okay. So what you're going to do is, do you have a price set for it, Teresa?
Not yet.
Okay. So do you know how to do a CMA on MLS?
I'm teaching myself all of that.
Okay. Sounds good. If you go on the Metro MLS website, they actually have videos on the Metro MLS website on how to do a CMA.
They have videos on everything. It's amazing.
Yeah. So have you looked at that, Teresa?
I'm so sorry. Say that again.
Have you looked on the MLS website for the?
Oh, I have.
Okay. So they go through step by step on how to do that. And are you working with a mentor or a launch coach?
I am.
Okay. So what you can do is touch base with your mentor or your launch coach and have them help you. That's why we're here for you guys, to get you up and running. Now, a lot of this is self-starting, which it's easier to learn that way. But go ahead and do it to your best of your knowledge, and then call that mentor or launch coach and say, hey, I did a market. Can you help me with it?
Thank you, Connie.
Yep, and then go on RPR and pull up that property and see where RPR has it. And then also go on Zillow and see where they have it.
All right. I've looked out there a little bit, but I'll put it all together.
Yeah, so when you're doing a CMA, it should take you to do a really good CMA. It should take you 2 hours. So it isn't, you know, a 5-minute. I have somebody, I'm taking them for a showing this morning here, and she says, can you do a market on that for me? I'm like, yeah, I'll get right on that one. So I can do a real quick market, but it won't be as narrowed down as it should be because I won't have time to check all my resources. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so a condo by Northridge. We're looking for a duplex in New Berlin. What else is everybody working on?
I need a mentor.
You need a mentor. You're at North Shore?
Yes.
Okay, talk to Charlie.
Okay.
And tell him that you need some help and you need to know who to talk to for being your mentor, and he will hook you up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Have you talked to Amanda, the launch coach?
I have, but not about a mentor.
Okay.
I have my listing, and I've talked to Renee and Julie about being my transaction coordinator, so we got that going, but they were like, you should get a mentor to help you kind of through the steps.
Yes. And the 2 different offices are working things out a little bit differently. So talk to Charlie about that and he'll be able to set you up with that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, great. What else is everybody looking for?
I had, my son has a contact of a guy that he's worked with before that's a house flipper, and he's now interested in working with me to find investment properties.
That is amazing. Reason being is you get both sides of the property then.
Right.
You're going to help them buy it, and then they'll usually have you list it.
Right.
Put it back up.
Right. So that's up in the pipeline.
Awesome. Anybody else? Good deal. So we have Bold this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Make sure to download your workbook. There are also videos to watch and things to touch base on before it starts at 1 o'clock. So Tuesdays and Thursdays are becoming some jam-packed days here. Did everybody get some good stuff out of Bold on Tuesday?
I did.
Yep. It's great to work with the mindset to make sure that you're making your contacts and moving forward in your business and looking at this as a business and working in with your budgeting, your financials. It's really cool because you have your freedom. You can do whatever you want. But if you take too much freedom, you don't get any work done. So everybody make your 20 contacts a day. And I need everybody to find a buyer this week. Oh, Carol just popped in here. She needs Pewaukee under 250 for a 3 to 4 bedroom with basement. Pewaukee schools, a 3+ bedroom under 350. So there's a couple more for you. So yeah, that's where we're at. I will touch base with Janine and see what we will work on next week. If you guys have anything you want to touch base on, give me a holla, text me, email me, and I will post the files for that presentation on Facebook for North Shore and for Lake Country. Anything else I can do for you guys? Got it all?
Can you put your number in the chat, Connie?
Sure I can.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Welcome.
I'm I'm having a hard time finding the Southwest Facebook group. What is the actual name of it?
Let me pull it up here really quick.
It's KWMKESW.
Oh, got it. Thank you. I was having the same problem.
Yeah, it's kind
Great.
of.
Thanks, guys.
Did you find
Thank
it?
you.
Yep, perfect.
Yep, MKESW, and then KW Lake Country.
Yep.
Is ours, and then KW Milwaukee North Shore is Whitefish Bay.
Awesome. Got them all.
Awesome.
Thank you so
cool.
much.
You
Have a
guys
good
have
one.
a great day. We will talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Connie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.